Welcome to Money Mondays with Melissa, where we talk about financial empowerment while exploring financial assistance available through local, state, and federal governments, each month with a diverse group of subject matter experts. Chicago, are you ready to get financially empowered? Well, we've got just what you need. Without further ado, give it up for your Chicago City Treasurer, Melissa Conyears-Ervin.
City Treasurer, Melissa Conyears-Ervin! Uh-oh, turn up.
Y'all know I'm South Side and West Side. In the house. Good afternoon, Chicago! Or should I say good afternoon, Cook County? Or should I say good afternoon, state of Illinois in the house today? So I am so excited. This is like everything today. Have you all enjoyed yourselves thus far? We have had an awesome day. And my hope and my prayer is that as you leave here today, that you will not be the same. And I hope that you will not be the same for better. That's what it's about today. And so let's get ready to get started. I am excited. Are you excited about what we're about to see? Yes. So this afternoon, we are blessed for the city of Chicago to have Chicago's own. I got my notes because I just know her as an actress. I just know her as a singer, but she's also an entrepreneur. She's an author. She's a mommy. And I am so excited to have Chicago's own Keke Palmer. Yeah! Amazing! Amazing, sisters! Amazing. Where would you like? Sit right here is good or there? Perfect. Okay. And your microphone is there.
Hey, what's up, Chicago? It's so good to see all y'all faces. Hey, girls. I know that's right.
Looks like the young people know you up in here.
Oh, man.
All right. They love you.
I love you, too. I really do. Thanks, girl. Come on, pulchritude.
So here's what is exciting about today. So we know as we talk about building wealth today for tomorrow, we have come to see so many movies that you've been in. We have seen you on so many stages, but to see you here today, talk to us about building wealth, about life-changing skills that we can take home and implement that into our household. This is a magnificent platform that we can see you on today. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And by the way, you all, what you're going to hear today, as beautiful as she looks, and by the way, to me, she looks still the same as when she was a teenager, but as beautiful. What's your baby's name?
Leotis.
Leotis.
Yep, we call him Leo. He here. He knocked out in the back.
He sleep in the back. Let me tell you about mamas, and I'm going to get into this segment, but I have to tell you all about how we're just real people. As Keke was coming into her dressing room, my dressing room did not have a bathroom. Y'all hear this? I'm the treasurer. I ain't got no bathroom in my dressing room. But I went into her dressing room because my 8-year-old daughter had to use the restroom. And as Keke was coming in, I said, oh, I walked out and she was sitting there. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. My baby had to use the bathroom. You understand how mamas can be. And she just embraced us. She smiled because she understood. And so to hear from her today and see the joy of her spirit, I want you all to know that her spirit is as beautiful as she looks. Thank you, Keke.
That was really sweet of you to say.
So let's start with the big one. We're going to start with the tough question, all right? We want to know, because we know all the roles that you have done. My daughter has seen a couple of them, and there's many, many more. But tell us about the roles that you've taken on. What has been the most challenging one? And also, how did it impact your career and personal growth?
The most challenging role that I've ever done is probably in a show that many of you maybe didn't see. It was a TV show I did called Berlin Station. And it was about the CIA, and it was really political. And in order to do the show, I had to go all the way to literally Berlin, Germany. And it was in a time in my career where I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was very happy to have a job. As we know, sometimes it gets tough, and you're like, I just need a gig. You know what I mean? So I was glad to get a gig. But I was like, I don't know how passionate I am about this show right now. It was a good show, but it just wasn't the one that I was most excited about, you know? And I was afraid to be so far away from home. First, I was excited, and then I started to get spooked. Because being out there would really be no weekend for me to get home because Germany's too far, right? Like, if I'm in Chicago working and I live in Atlanta, okay, that's just a couple minutes of flight away, anywhere here. But when it's all the way across the country, it's like, it's not enough time. And so I would be very alone. And then also, you know, the whole being black somewhere else. I was kind of like, hey, y'all. You know, how y'all doing? But I realized the diaspora is so much bigger than America. And it had made me have such appreciation for our culture here that is so often robbed from us. And I'm like, oh, no. This is our stuff. And we're different everywhere. Just because our skin is the same, it doesn't mean we're the same. And so that opened my eyes a lot, being able to see the world in that way. And then knowing that sometimes you'll be alone, but you're never really alone because God is always with you. So that was a tough experience, but I would liken it to when anybody goes to college. You know, you go home away from home. You have to build something somewhere else. So that was an experience like that for me.
Wow. Germany. I would love to go to Germany. Anyone else?
Germany was honestly amazing. The next year we did the show. It was the same show. Even though it was called Berlin Station, we was in Budapest. And I was like, now this made me miss Berlin.
Yeah. Hey there. So Keke has a new book that will actually be released next month. But for those that registered early, my mother always taught me early bird gets the worm. So for those that registered early, you will receive a free copy of the book. Master of Me, The Secrets of Controlling Your Narrative. Now, what I like about this, because I want to hear from you as to why you chose that topic, and the master of me, controlling your own narrative, because a lot of times, unfortunately, we allow others to control our narrative.
Right.
Tell me about that title.
Well, the title, like you said, it speaks to the realities of that. And I think people assume that as an entertainer, we're the only ones that experience other people trying to tell our stories. But y'all know so-and-so down the street done heard something about you, and now she's telling the whole community something she don't even know nothing about. And so that is really the essence of, a big part of the essence of what the book is about in terms of being in the front of your own story, knowing that you are the author of your own story and the way that you choose to think about the events that have transpired in your life. Because there are always going to be challenges. I don't care how much you do it right. Y'all know it's going to find a way to go wrong. And it's so easy to get so hung up on yourself and take everything so personally until you think about it and say, well, this didn't happen to me. Maybe, just maybe it happened for me. And even if it didn't, I'm going to find the reason anyway, because I'm not going to let it get me down. And so that's a big part of what I use my stories and the experiences that I've had in my life to exemplify how I've been able to do that. But then I also talk a lot in the book about business, you know, and diversifying your portfolio and not allowing corporations to put a limit on who you can be. Okay, well, if you don't want me to be a manager, I'm going to go get 2 other side jobs, and then you're really going to see how much you need me, because I don't need you.
That is something to clap about.
But you guys know how it can be.
So Keke just led to that when she talked about diversifying your portfolio.
Yeah.
And Keke led to talking about you seeing yourself as a business,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yes.
Seeing yourself as a business. Talk to us a little about that.
And I really do think it's a personal choice, right? Like if you really love the company you're working at and you see yourself working there forever and that is your thing, then that's awesome. But as we know, a lot of times corporations can put a ceiling on us. And what I discovered in my industry, my traditional work as an entertainer, when I got 17, 18, the roles that I was being offered, they just weren't the roles that I wanted. And I didn't want to have to take them because that was the only thing that I could have in terms of making money. So I started to diversify my portfolio. I essentially became an influencer, a content creator. And that opened a lot of doors for me. And then I started hosting, and that opened up a lot of different doors for me. And then the traditional industry saw that I had value elsewhere. And so then they started coming correct and saying, okay, well, if we want to work with her, this is what we have to do. And so what I learned in that is that it doesn't matter if you're in the entertainment industry, if you work at the bank, if you work at a hospital, if you work at Walmart. If they are not offering you what you want, then you just pull back and you diversify in other areas. And the great thing about it is it sounds like a lot more work, and it is a lot more work, but there's a lot more autonomy in that because now I can say no because you're not the only paycheck I got coming in. And that's how they get you. As you waiting on, you're like, dang, I got that one, dang, how I'm gonna keep up? But if I get a little something here, a little something there, and the funny thing about it is some of those other jobs, they're paying you to learn a new skill. Oh, y'all want me to type? I need the class for that. Oh, y'all want me to learn how to make a deck? I need the deck class. And now you got a whole bunch of other skills that you actually got paid to learn to do.
So she's talking about MSI. Who knows what MSI is? Multiple streams of income. All right.
That's right. That's how we have to do it.
So in the book, because we're going to talk a lot about the book, so you'll get previews of that today. But also I want to, we got our young adults corner that's over here.
Period.
This is the first year, by the way, we have a track dedicated to young people. And they've been upstairs in class all day. I want you to hear this. Our young people have been learning how to invest in themselves. Let's give that a hand. So for the young people, the young entrepreneurs, and for those of us as well, I think I'm young, but not so young. But,
you're young.
Yes. But for those, especially from underserved communities, what advice would you give them for creating and controlling their own opportunities? Young people, listen.
It's really tough, but you've got to find it. You know, I come from Robbins. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with Robbins. I was born in Harvey, raised in Robbins, and anybody that knows that town knows that it's like, it ain't got nothing going on. You know what I mean? Got nothing going on. But what it does have going on, and what it did have going on for me and my family was community. And so to me, a big thing about finding a way to get what you want to get up off the ground is finding a community that's like-minded. So as a young person, as an older person, whatever age person is, if they're not doing what it is you're trying to do in your area, search for it elsewhere. And the great thing about the times we're in now is you can get up on a computer and you can find people like that. You can go to the Facebook site and see where the Facebook groups is. Y'all know they got the Facebook groups. Who's doing community theater? Who's doing artistry? Okay, y'all just 20 minutes out. Okay, maybe I can get a car, go down there, and I can enjoy that and figure out how to make this a part of my weekly, monthly ritual. But you got to find a like-minded community. And then from there, work with them, collaborate with them, and see how you guys all can get to the next level. I mean, that's how I did it in the industry. My mom, when I first wanted to be an entertainer, she talked to her friends that she did theater with back in the day, and she said, do y'all know anybody that does anything with kids? And then one thing led to another, that led to another, that led to another. All my mom did was call people and ask them for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's all my mom has done. She always asks for help. Do y'all know anything that can help my daughter? I'm just trying to figure out what to do with her. She's really talented. Is there anything you get me? And people will tell her different things each time. She needs an agent. You need an attorney. You need and it's like it all sounded obscure, but it was all good help in the end.
And can I share this with you all as she talk about her mother? Her mother is here with her today.
Yeah, my mom and my dad. Yeah, they're both here.
They're both in the building?
They're both in the building, yeah.
I didn't even know her dad was in it. Your dad must be keeping the baby right now.
No, my dad literally, but you know, a lot of people think that my dad is like my brother or something. I don't know how he drinking the fountain of youth, y'all. Larry got to be stopped. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on. He out here with an alpha shirt on. You know, he got to rep his frat.
Oh, I saw him.
Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah.
So her mother and her father.
Yeah.
Now, this is Keke Palmer. She got a whole family, a whole child. But her parents have invested in her all of her life. And I want you all to see the significance of that. Let's give that a hand.
And I do want to say, thank you so much. I do want to say this, though, because I talk about this in the book, is that, and this isn't rather sad or happy. It's just everybody don't have Larry and Sharon. Some people don't have that relationship with their mother and father. And that don't mean you're not going to be as good as or better than Keke Palmer. So I do want to say that. If you don't have it at home, you can find it. And most importantly, you can find it within yourself. Because everybody don't have that insular community. You have to go and find it. But most importantly, you find it through first loving and being the main community for yourself. So I just want to say that.
She preaching.
Because sometimes it's not like that. Yeah, sometimes it's not like that.
So we know many projects. And what age did you start in the industry?
I actually started at 9 years old.
9 years old. So Keke has been in the industry, let's just say all of her life, right? This is how she was raised in this industry. Yeah. But when you think about projects and collaborations, how do you choose? Because right now you're at a point of choice. How do you choose which projects, which collaborations you will take on? And also give us advice on how to choose our career paths.
Yeah, I talk about this a little bit in the book where no one can really tell you what's for you because only you know the story you're trying to tell. As I got older, I was able to really understand the story I was trying to tell. In the beginning, a lot of times it's whoever you're around. For me, it was my parents. But amazingly enough, that story has always been the story for me too. You just always go through a path of learning where you're like, is that my story or is that what y'all want my story to be? And then you're like, no, that is my story. And it's always been centered around community and service. And through the arts, I do that through storytelling, whether it's the movie Akilah and the Bee or True Jackson VP showing y'all you could be a VP at 15. You know what I mean? It's all through showing and representing the community in a way that maybe we not always represented, or even telling stories of us and humanizing us in ways that people dehumanize us. And so that's how I do it. So I feel like in the book, I speak a lot about asking yourself personal questions. And I even have prompts after each chapter that can help you find your purpose. Because purpose sometimes feels like an obscure thing. But if you ask some of these questions to yourself, what makes me the happiest? Where do I think I am most of service to people? What is the act in which I'm doing that makes me feel the most at ease, that comes the most naturally? What's the thing sometimes about me that I feel uneasy about? When we ask ourselves these questions, it helps us better figure out how we want to be of service and how we want to perform that being of service. And for me, those answers were I love God, I love my family, and I want to be a positive influence. And those are the questions and the things that I think about whenever I'm going to do any piece of work. And that doesn't mean every character I play is a perfect character, right? But it's just, do I stand behind it? Is there something that I can speak to that represents the core values that I have? And if the answer is yes, then that's how I move forward. If it doesn't represent or align with those core values, then I don't move forward with it.
Does it align with your core values? You hear that? That's good. That's good. That way you can sleep at night, right? So when we talk about managing money, because no matter who you are, no matter what economic level you're on, you're managing money. Mm-hmm. So as we think about your career, where you have started to where you have evolved to now, talk to us about some key lessons you've learned about managing money.
Don't spend more than what's coming in. That's the main one.
We laughing, but y'all hear this?
No, I've been,
okay.
And I feel like all of us done been there. It's like, dang, I thought it was going to be in by now. It ain't came. So I've learned to live under my means, and I really mean that. I've always lived under my means, especially after the first time that I went bankrupt when I was about, 18, 19, and I was just like so spooked. I was like, what went wrong? And my mom was like, girl, everybody in debt. And I was like, phew. I was like, oh, phew, thought it was something new. So when money problems happen, I think living under your means is the best way to manage your wealth, you know what I mean, or just your finances in general, because then you know you're never going to get too outside of it. You're always going to be a little bit under, so you're going to have something left to, save. I also know that for me, a big part of my career has been investment. So scared money don't make no money. So I do think when it comes to investing in you, investing in an idea or something, think it through and know that there can be a loss and be prepared for that loss. And I really mean be prepared for that loss. So that's another version of like, can you gamble? Because maybe right now is not the time. And when the time comes, then you should. What other lessons have I learned? Money comes and money goes, but heavy on the money comes. It really does. It seems like it don't, but it will come back to you, especially if you're doing it for the right reasons. I truly do believe that. But I mean, it's a lot of different things. I also believe in healthy money management. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody to help you with your finances. I mean, that's important to me. My parents got me a business manager when I was 12. And that has helped me immensely. It's really helped me to understand how to save my money, what to put my money into, things like that.
So that's interesting that you said living under your means. I've always heard the saying, live within your means. I don't know if you all caught that.
Under.
Keke said under your means.
If I'm going to put out some crazy numbers. If I got $10,000 in the bank, this is crazy, it's not realistic, but then my house would be $500 a month. That's how under I mean. Because I could probably afford something $2,500, maybe. But I'm going way under. Yeah, for sure.
So we started, that's enough to clap on, yes.
Because, y'all, you know why? Because I want to invest in my business. So if I want to invest in my business, then the material things that I'm having currently might have to take a short back. You know what I mean? Instead of wearing Gucci, I'm wearing Zara. Love Zara down. You know what I mean? And so that's why. It's like if I'm shorting it on my, I live in a good place. I drive a cool car. You know what I'm saying? Because my money is going elsewhere. You know what I mean? Knowing what's important to you.
Amen. Y'all, this is powerful. And the reason this is so powerful, you need to hear this because these are people that we look up to. I mean, Keke, we look up to you.
I got a Toyota right now in my driveway. And I ain't lying.
Listen, we look up to them, and all we know is that they have a lot of money, but we don't know how they spend it. We don't know how they manage it. And so we think we want to have a lot of money to spend it, and all day.
Guys, all the people that I know that got money, they walking around looking like Adam Sandler. Okay? They got a T-shirt and some jeans on. And the jeans got holes in them. Not too much.
This is the truth, y'all. This is the truth. Keke, this is powerful. This is the truth. Oh, my goodness. And this has been the theme all day. Keke is not saying anything different. We heard Lorenz Tate earlier. Matthew knows. It's the same theme.
I mean, they got online and laughed at Bow Wow for leasing a jet. I thought it'd been crazy if he bought one. Why would you buy that? That's a silly thing to do. You should lease it. You should rent it.
Wow.
Why would you buy that?
This is amazing. Are you all learning something? Yes, I'm telling you, Keke. Oh, my gosh. So starting at 9 years old in the industry, talk to us about your early experiences that have really shaped your financial decisions and career trajectory. I know you talked about bankruptcy even at 18. See, listen, you all, look, stop for a moment. An 18-year-old filed bankruptcy. Many 18-year-olds would have given up and said no more. But look at what has happened to your life because you stayed right there and you went even harder. So talk to us about those experiences.
I mean, I think my mom helped me when she was saying, a lot of times we're not alone. I mean, come on, y'all, some people got school loans and, car note. I mean, everybody is up against the A-ball a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to some degree. So I think she put it in perspective where it's like, girl, you're not unique. You know, get up off yourself. Don't pity yourself. This is something to learn from, to grow from. And so I've always had my parents always let me know that, like, don't sit around and think that, you know, have some perspective. It's not just you. People are living with struggles every single day, and they keep going. So, yeah, get up and keep going. This is something to learn from. And I learned many of the things that I was just telling you guys about how to invest my money in a smart way, you know, how to start living under my means so I never have to go through that again. I don't never have to go there again because I'm never going to be that close. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So it's like, phew. It happens once, so it doesn't have to happen again.
So the book, Master of Me, The Secrets of Controlling whose narrative?
Your narrative.
And I say mine, right? My narrative. But the book is The Secrets to Controlling Your Narrative. Tell us, what can we expect when we read this book, and how will this book empower us?
Well, you'll learn a little bit more about me, some of these things that we're talking about right now, other personal stories, you know, those life lessons and the tools that they've given me from experiencing them. But overall, the way that I look at things in my life that allow me to move forward. Because I remember when I was 17, I was like, again, this was like a really hard period for me. So I was doing a lot of research, trying to find the answers to how I felt. And I would look at people like Will Smith, you know what I mean, hear him talk. And philosophers, different, you know, Aristotle or even Albert Einstein, looking at Buddhism and just different people that are thought leaders, you would say. And I realized that the only difference between me and them was the way that they thought. I was like, oh, it's something else that they're thinking differently than I'm thinking. It's not that they're more special or they're more this or that. No. They've decided to master their mind in the way that they view things. Because what happens is sometimes we put a mental block on ourselves that stop us from moving forward. And it's as easy as changing a channel. But sometimes we forget we're the person with the remote. You know, it's crazy. And so that's what the book really is about. It's about how I continue to remember that I'm the one in control and that no one can tell my story. Only I can. And I decide what I'm going to put out into the world and how I choose to be perceived. And so that's a big part of it. And then the other part of it is how that has influenced my business and influenced who I am as a businesswoman and how I continue to remain autonomy in another space, as you guys know, that can feel so not autonomous and like a constant corporate overlord over our head. So a bunch of tools and how I've been able to manage that and continue to kind of try to rise above.
Come on. Woo! All right. So Keke Palmer, singer, actress, entrepreneur, author. What is next on the horizon for Keke?
Oh my gosh. Well, more of the same, but to be spreading it outward because I started my company foundation, Key TV. And so it's a network in the sense of you can actually watch the work on digital platforms like YouTube, Instagram, you know, all the social media. But also it's a network in the sense of connecting BIPOC creators, people of color, to this platform where we can finally get advertisements the way that we deserve. You guys know we have so many creators online that are doing stuff, setting trends, and when it's time for the big brand dollars to come in, they're not the ones that are getting the attention. And me, coming from traditional, when I started becoming a content creator, the brands already knew me, trusted me, and so I got a lot of opportunities. And so through seeing that and knowing that, I said, okay, well, why don't I use my brand and the attention I get from my platform and put it into something that can breathe life into things other than me? Because what happens when you've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it, and I remember mentors of mine like Queen Latifah, she would talk about this all the time with me, is that, okay, I've done my thing. And it's not like I'm done doing my thing. I keep doing my thing, but it's like my thing is thinged. How else can I now take it to where it's not just me? How can we start spreading this out? There's so many jobs in our industry outside of just being a performer. And we hear it all the time when it comes to sports. Why we always got to be the players? Why can't we be the owners of the company?
Come on.
You know? And And so with Key TV, it's hopefully an opportunity where we can start learning the skills and be put in the position to try doing those other things that don't totally make us the tap dancer. You know, what is it like to be a director of photography? What is it like to be a writer, a director, a producer, a prop master? These are positions that you don't even hear about because people are too focused on you being the star. Well, you can't be that forever. And you shouldn't have to be because it's exhausting. I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. I'm tired. You know? So it's like I want us to be able to use something other, you know, than our performative talents on the surface sense. We can sing, we can dance, we can perform. That's great, and I love it. But we can also do other things. We're smart. I could hook you up a deck, and I could be in marketing too, boo. Give me a chance. You know?
So, again, if you've been here all day, which some of you have, earlier today, what did Lorenz talk about? He stated, we need to build a studio where we can have some producers,
right,
some writers. But then he also said some people that build the stage.
These are jobs, guys. These are jobs that, I mean, if you're going to be working down at Johnson's factory in them, you could dang sure build a set, boo. And that's more fun. You know what I mean? That's more community. That's more, I mean, it's that, I grew up seeing that. You know what I mean? I would go on people's set. And this is the funny thing is I'm just doing things that my predecessors already did. I've gone on sets with Ice Cube. People was black. He had black people building the sets. He gave opportunity to black boom operators and black sound mixers. Ice Cube been doing that. He's about what he preached. Same thing with Queen Latifah. They've employed us. Tyler Perry. Say what you want about his movies. He's doing things for us.
This my girl.
Because you know people love to get into it, but I'm like, really get into it then. Because he's the only one with a studio. Now, come on now. You know, so those are the conversations we've got to have. Those are the things we got to do. So I'm just following in the footsteps. Key TV is an extension of the things that I grew up seeing, and I just want to add on to that. I want to do what they showed me to do in action, which is give into our community, pour into our community, you know.
Key.
She said Key.
Key. I'm ready for Key TV. I don't know about y'all. So let me say this before I give closing comments for Keke, because guess what? I already know after Keke, some of you all going to stay for the class, some of you won't. So let me get out what I want to say now. I know y'all. So, because I know you were here for her, and I wanted you to come here. But the reason that this is so significant, Keke, we knew that we could crowd out an auditorium if there was a concert. We knew that we can crowd out an auditorium if there was certain entertainment. But we were unsure about crowding out UIC because we're talking about a topic that unfortunately is not spoken at many dinner tables, especially dinner tables as you and I were born and raised in. Yeah. I want you all to see this young lady from Robbins, Illinois. Some of you may not have even heard of Robbins because it's the south suburb of Chicago. You can drive through Robbins and you say, oh, was that Robbins?
No, seriously.
I mean, before you know it, you in and out of Robbins.
It's true. It's so
her
true.
mother told me her father come from Cabrini Green. Yes. And look at where she is today. But she talks a lot about the investments. And some people are not as blessed to have, and I'm not going to say as blessed.
They're in a different situation. Their story started differently.
That's it, Keke. And then I think about even my background. You know, my background is treasurer. Why this Expo Summit is so important to me. Because I am the young lady born in Inglewood, raised on the west side, where we're not supposed to be on this stage right now.
But that's why my mom always told me this when I would talk, after Keelan the Beat, she would have me go into school. She would say they need to see you because they need to know that it's real.
Come on.
Guys, it's true and it's been happening. It's us on this stage, but we've also seen it happen with Viola Davis, Oprah Winfrey, Nina Simone,
Shirley Chisholm,
Josephine Baker. Like, we have to continue to sing those names and put those things in the forefront. And sometimes they don't happen in school, so we got to keep it alive in our homes.
Yes.
Because we have things to be proud of.
Yes.
I think that's so important.
Yes. We have a lot to be proud of.
It ain't just everything crazy.
Come on. And I want to tell you all, Chicago, Cook County, state of Illinois, who all here? I want you all to know that I, Melissa Conyears-Ervin, is proud of you.
Right.
I'm proud of you. But I'm proud of you because you got up today and said, I could have been doing anything else, but I want to be in the room because I want to learn how to invest in myself. I want to learn how to invest in my family.
That's right.
And guess what? Thank you to the sponsors, all for free.
That's what we need.
This is what we need.
That's what we need.
This is what we need. And this is what we deserve.
That's right.
So I'm glad you all came. This is our 4th annual. I told my team I can't wait to get to the 5th annual because we're doing it even bigger.
Thank you for tuning in to Money Mondays with Melissa. We hope you enjoyed today's session and found value in the topic of discussion. Follow Chicago City Treasurer on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay on top of all upcoming events. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Chicago Treasurer's Office at 312-744-3356 or visit www.chicagocitytreasurer.com. We'll see you next time for Money Mondays with Melissa.